Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. I wanted to jump on here because I missed the last couple panels. Me and my wife were watching a movie, spending some time together, so I missed the last panels that y'all did. So I wanted to come in here and give my thoughts on what I see and kind of fill in the blank of what I was going to add to the conversation. So here we go. Let me get rid of this particular screen here. So when I sent this out, I sent this to contractor first. Send this to contractor first so that he could push it up to you guys at Machismo TV. But this is what we're looking at. So the last, 2 Saturdays, they've been covering the diverting hate thing right here. And pretty much we've been targeted for hateful views, even though nobody in this space advocates for hate. Nobody. There may have been some extreme versions of people who consider themselves manosphere, like Fresh and Fit, and even Tommy. But were they lying about what they were saying? So on the screen, I have all 3 volumes of the Diverting Hate Report. Now, I sent this out as well. And I'll probably drop it in the description, a link to my Google Drive so you can download and read these for yourself. The only one that I've read so far is the 3rd report because this one names names. And what I'm showing you here is the progression of these people and what they're doing. Matter of fact, I don't even have my chat up here on screen. Let me do this real quick. Let me pop out my chat so I make sure I don't miss anything in case anybody stops by. I also need to enable my bot. As a matter of fact, let me pull that up here and go back down. Like I said, I'm just doing this on the fly. So let me make sure my bot is ready, because one of the things I wanted to talk about as well, and I'll get to that, is how to safeguard your channel against these people as well. So, and we're definitely going to get to that. All right, here we go. All right, so my bot is active. All right, so I want you to look at something. Each time they write this report, they start off the same damn way. They go into this introduction explaining who they are, the executive summaries, there's a difference here between the first 2, mapping the manosphere. They have a section similar to that in the 3rd report, which we will get to. Now, what the brothers have been covering is the 3rd report. But what I noticed about this is that not only did they try to define the manosphere in their own terms, they got this completely wrong. Using AI and people that don't have a clue, and based on the dissertation that a lot of this stuff is based off of, they don't know who we are. They haven't spoken to nobody in this space, why we exist, and so forth. In the very first report, they've gone as far as to demonize MRAs and try to conflate everyone together. See, MRAs existed for a reason because we know by now it's common knowledge that all these laws are heavily biased against men. We know this. We've proven it. We've showed the data over and over. But like I said, I'm not going to be on here long, but let's take a look at the first report and you'll see what I'm talking about. So let's see. First report. I believe it was the first report. Here we go. MRAs. Let me blow this up for you a little bit. Now, this is the first report. They were talking like this back in April of 2023. Now, we know that they have been doing research before then. MRAs are people that advocate for men's rights. These activists become problematic when centering their advocacy and belief that women and feminism are retracted from men's right and believe that the only way to regain men's rights is the expense of women. That is absolutely false. In most circles, they say that the rights need to be equal. You don't have to put one group down to uplift another. And that's been the overwhelming message of this space. Okay. Now let's go to the 3rd report. This is going to be a kind of rough comparison of the 2. See, they start talking about their approach. They're starting to evolve. And then they throw this guy up here, who a lot of us don't even mess with because we knew he was a grifter. We also denounced him a long time ago. Let's see here. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Don't have my notes that I wrote on this one. Oh, yeah, this part right here, the male supremacy scale. Now, you can see how this has evolved from the first thing that they did here. Diverting hate violation scale. Now, what does that say to us? That these people don't know what the hell they're doing. They really don't. They don't. So from here, they went from this right here, a 5-point scale, to a 15-point scale. Basically saying that anytime you disagree with them, when you disagree with them, you're wrong. You can't disagree with women. You can't disagree with the mainstream and what we see in this space and what we talk about. You can't disagree with anybody. Anytime you disagree with them, you're going to be labeled a misogynist. 15.5 points. So they're doing the work to try to further demonize men. Look at the scale. And they rank channels based upon the terms used in them. They also have been paying attention to the language that we use in this space because, you know, YouTube doesn't like certain words. We all know this. It doesn't like certain words because they're a business. They got to remain friendly to their advertisers. Okay. One of the things I think that was missed is that how long these people have been around. I want to say they've probably been around maybe 5 years formulating this and trying to demonize the space. But not only do they exist in this fashion, they know what they're doing is wrong, and they caught a lot of pushback for doing what they're doing, to the point where they tried to sanitize pages and they made this report unavailable. But unfortunately for them, some of us are really good at looking up things on the internet and finding documents. And a lot of people don't know that there is an archive on the internet that keeps track of every change of every web page that's out there. I know this because I've been on the internet a long time. You can't even hide a tweet anymore. So what makes you think you're going to hide a whole web page? Now, let's go back to these people. These people are so bold because this is who they are. These people are so bold that they will put this stuff on the internet, but then when they got called out, like Edward Anderson says, they went into hiding. This is them. This is similar to the mission statement on their website. Okay. Why is my chat not working? And I know I'm doing a little shoddy job right now, man. I just woke up, but I had this on my mind. Why are you not working? My chat pop-out is not working. All right, let me drop this back down. Hang on, I'm trying to get my chat to work again. All right, here we go. Let me put this up here. And where were we? Diverting hate. Here we go. So they tell you right here who they are, where they get their funding, and everything else. Now, why would an entity of the government try to censor what we say on the internet? Well, it's because it's costing them money. It affects their ESG scores. Investment groups are looking at this. And quite frankly, I don't see anything wrong with what we're doing, because if you're not being appreciated, you deserve to walk the hell away. We tell the other side to do that all the time. Now, everything isn't about women or whatever, but when you're teaching young men to be smart with their money, save their money, build themselves up, it affects the economy. Don't spend your money on BS. Go out here, get jobs that matter. Don't get yourself into relationships early. Don't have children early before you're ready and before you're established. These are all things that affect our economy. And these people missed the mark not talking to somebody in this space and getting the whole deal. Now, let's go over here and show you who these people are. Now, this is not doxing. I want to make this clear. This is not doxing. This is publicly available information. You can see where they went to college. You can see the affiliations of people that have worked there as you go through their LinkedIn profile. What is damning to me is the fact that all these people got a whole page and they post articles. They post articles. These are some of the faces who were involved at this place. These are some of the people. Now I'm going to click on one of these people so you can get an idea of who they actually are. Now, we've had an issue in the past year with people who use pronouns. And I'll let you make your own assessment on that. This is one of them. Co-founder. Her pronouns are right here. She, her. So that lets you know who you're dealing with. So you can't disagree with these people. You can't. If you support the natural order of things, what people actually are, and it's supported by science, these people want to come in here with their own political gender identities, and they want to target you and say you're wrong. Even in the third report, they talked about that, how trans people and people with pronouns are being targeted by the manosphere. No, we're not. We're just refusing to accept the ideas, and we don't have to. There's no law that says we have to accept. And even for the folks in Canada, I think it's bullshit that if you misgender somebody, that you can go to jail. It's BS. A lot of us are tired of it. We don't want to accept your fantasy land. But yet these are the people trying to affect policy and put things into your life that you don't want there. You cannot live in peace with these people. You can't. You can't. And that's just one example of who you're dealing with. There was a video I found that is buried. Like that video it pretty much got no play. And it was people who worked on this project talking about, it's a 10-minute video. If you type in diverting hate on YouTube, you're going to find that video. It's like 10 or 12 minutes long. And it's all the people that worked on this project. Well, not all of them, but a good portion of the people working on this project. There's even one brother on there. And I feel sad for that dude because he doesn't sound like he's part of, a lot of these guys sound like soy boys, right? So here we go. And what we said was the backlash they got for the third report, which is listed right here, right? It's listed right here. You click on it. You got to go to their distribution list to get it. Now, I've signed up for their distribution list, and I think they're trying to play it cool right now because they have not sent an email. They just said that, hey, yeah, we got your email. When the next one comes out, we'll send it to you. That's it. There's no send it to you right away. So they're trying to operate and shadow and vet people based on their email. And I believe they're probably using your email to look you up on Facebook or on YouTube to see if you're a content creator. Because what they don't want, and they explicitly say it in I want to say in the first report, they say it in the first report, and they say it in the third report. I haven't looked at the second report completely yet. That they are pissed off that their research is falling into the wrong hands. As a matter of fact, let me see where I can find that at, because I think it was the second report. Let's see here. Nope, not that one. Let's go back to the second report here. These people are scared because if we start doing what we need to do, they're going to lose their funding. They're going to lose their funding. And again, they do name these people in the reports. And one of the things they said, and I want to say the third report towards the end, that they want to protect their people from the manosphere by, from the violence of the manosphere, whatever. So they keep labeling us as violent, yet we've said nothing about these people. We've said nothing to support violence. We haven't done anything to these people, but yet they're attacking our character and trying to use the government to force us out of these spaces and to force us to stop talking. So which one is really doing the damage here? All right, but anyway, I digress. So these are some of the things that they posted. And of course, on LinkedIn, you can go to documents and see what documents pop up. I haven't clicked on this one, so this is the first time I'm looking at the documents thing. So here we go. This is the same report that I'm going to drop in the description. Now, they do not allow you to download it right off the bat, but you can expand this and hit the download button up here in the corner. Okay. Now, the March report, I had to do some deep diving on the dark web just to pull the first report. I mean, the second report from September. And I pulled that up. I sent that out to the brothers just so they can get into it and really take a look at it. So while I am sitting here, I'm going to go, here we go. Here are the reports here in my drive. Let me get the link. Copy link. That's the first one. That is April 2023. And you'll see the description update as you're looking at the video. All right, let's get that in here. Let me get this link. Oh, and I know they're going to be mad about this. And of course, all this is shareable. So you can send this link to other people. Because I don't mind sharing the information, okay? All right, so now we know who these people are. You can look at the reports yourself and look into it. But before I move on to the next section, how you protect your channels, and one of the things that they're doing in the third report, which we're going to stop that cold in its tracks, we're going to look at this right here. So according to these people, like I said, they're conflating all these different issues that society have. Crazy people have existed all over the place. Crazy people are everywhere. When they got rid of all those institutions during the Reagan era, where they would put people who had schizophrenia, they would lock them up so they couldn't procreate, because some of this stuff is genetic. People claimed it was inhumane and stuff like that, but what's inhumane is allowing a bunch of people with issues to run rampant in our society. Y'all have no problem locking certain folks up, brown folks up, for their crimes. But when you got all these people running around society, I mean, how do you explain that? But anyway, you got first incel sentence on hate crime charges in the U.S. This is an article that is still up, written in March 2021. The crime occurred in January of 2020. Now, if you remember, the manosphere, Kevin Samuels and the like, took off in around 2020 during the pandemic, okay? They're trying to use the pandemic like some type of catalyst for all this content to grow, when it has already been on the internet for over 10 years. You're just now seeing the effects of it, just like with feminism. You've had 50, 60 years of feminism, extreme feminism, bring us to this point where finally men fight back, because what they've done is destroyed the family. And if you destroy the family, this is a simple equation. If you destroy the family and their ability to support themselves, of course things are going to deteriorate. And now you have men who recognize what has happened using the data, who are pointing at the key indicators, and now they don't want to take responsibility for it. So now they're saying, shut up, stop using our research against us, and listen to what we're saying. And men are saying, no, we now have platforms. We don't need your talk shows. We don't need your news outlets. We don't need your magazines. We don't need your articles. We can write our own. We could take the same research that your journalists are using and put out counterpoints to what you're saying, and we can support it with the evidence. Because one thing I've learned is that you have to lie to make us look bad and to demonize men, but all we got to do is tell the truth. My platform was about attacking narratives and helping all the young men I can as we move forward. Because I've been in those situations where you're in despair. People don't believe in you. People don't put anything behind you. And you're unproductive. And I snapped out of it. So now here we are with these people right here trying to double down on what's happening, putting out these BS reports, stealing taxpayer dollars, and we're supposed to sit idly by and say nothing. All right. So here's this story. Jenko. Now, I'm not saying he didn't watch anything in this space, but when somebody acts like this, we don't advocate for violence. When someone acts like this, that's not our fault. We have no control over what people do. Just like you feminists don't have any control over some of these ladies who decide to pile their kids into a car, stab their boyfriend in the chest, and delete one of their children. Like you have no control over somebody losing a custody battle and deciding to delete the children and themselves. How many of those stories we seen this year alone? We saw a ton of them last year. Now, this is one of many individuals who acted on their own. There's no public group. You can't use a few snippets from incel.is of conversations that you cherry pick and attribute that to everybody. That's not fair and it's not right. I'm not responsible for what this young man did. I would say the people around him that noticed the changes is just like anybody else. Whenever someone decides to delete themselves, because you can't use the S word here. Whenever somebody decides to delete themselves, there are signs there. And a lot of us fail to recognize those signs. But you can't blame everybody for what happened. And that's what they're trying to do here with this individual here. And then they're trying to conflate that to everybody else. And this is one of many articles that they have. All right, now that we're done with that piece, let me get rid of that. Move that off screen. Now, here's the other thing that I saw was that in this report, they were talking about using targeted advertising to redirect from your channels and spaces just so they can insert their own people into these spaces. On page, what was it? The very first page of this report, not the very first page, but in the first couple pages, you get this graphic here where they're using ad campaigns to send people from your channels to these people here. A lot of these you can find on Google Ads. There's this page called Google Transparency. Google Transparency. And I'm going to show you that real quick. Hang on. Being stupid now. All right, so they have a Google Ads Transparency Center. You could come in here. and type in the name of the entity and see their ads that they're running on Google. Now, they know that they can't run ads on certain channels that are demonetized, but that doesn't stop them from running them on your websites outside of Google. So if your website supports ads and you got it set up so you can generate revenue off of ads based on the traffic you get, you can see their ads that they have out there. You can also go in and block them on your channel. So let's see which one, the men's circle. All right, let's pick that one. All right, that one's not popping up. I've looked up all of these particular people. Fishing the Good Fight. Here we go. Fishing the Good Fight. This works so much better on my phone. Here we go. Fishing the Good Fight Incorporated. And this is just a list of ads they have on here. Sometimes you'll see some that say they'll show you like video ads because you got different formats here. You got video ads that you could be seeing on your channel, or you can see text at the bottom. Some of these will show up as little banners at the bottom of your channel when they're showing other ads. So basically, they're trying to take your traffic, and this is what Rolo was talking about, and send it elsewhere. The other thing about it is you can also, I don't know why I keep minimizing that. Where is it? Simple Google search. Now, I don't have access to AdSense, but for everybody else that is monetized, you could turn off ads simply by following these steps here. You also can go into your AdSense account and type in the URL. Type in the URL of these folks, of everybody here that they support, and block them. And you can also use keywords. You can also use keywords. And in using those keywords, you keep people like this off your channel and from advertising and from stealing information. There's also a list that you can do. Is you can block words in your comment section on YouTube. Now, this extends to your live videos as well. You can do this from a YouTube studio. There are pre-made lists. They come in spreadsheet form. And you type that list, make sure you read it. You know, you don't want to block every daggone thing out because there's quite a few words on it. And you can punch it into your YouTube channel. That way, they can't leave certain comments, or the comments automatically get held for review. And I know some of y'all have seen that. That way, they can't come in, because one of their campaigns was to get people demonetized. And one easy way to get you demonetized is by having certain conversations in the comment section. Your videos can get reported for certain words being used in your lives. That's why I use Nightbot. So it's anybody that comes in here and try to act a fool and type something they're not supposed to, it automatically gets blocked. And if you do it too many times, you get banned from the channel. So you got to protect your channel. You got to know who's out there targeting your channel, because there's a lot of people who have money riding on. They're not only do they have money riding on their narratives, people like us that exist and tell the actual truth are seen like the enemy. It's written all over the Bible. When you start telling the truth, people will hate you for it. They will. Like these people here, you have to have some level of hate. Look at the irony. You have to have some level of hate to go this far to write research papers, poorly written research papers at that, to come at people you don't even know and you haven't talked to. You have to. And then you're trying to convince other people that the hatred you have is better than what you deem as hate over here. But let's go back to this third report, and I'm going to go all the way to the back. Let's see. There's a specific section I want to get to. This is a interview they did with some psychologists. And we don't want to hear none of that wellness organization crap. And this is one of the sections I was talking about. This is what they know that you are watching. They know that you are watching by looking at this one sentence right here. Well, a couple sentences here. For diverting hate, recent experiences have been a significant learning opportunity. We recognize that the research conducted has been co-opted by the manosphere to portray themselves as martyrs. And I have to ask you this, what research? What research? Based on this report alone, 80% of it is written by AI. So what research? You haven't talked to anybody in this space or interviewed anybody in this space. So what research? You watched a couple videos, made your own assessment, filled out the male supremacy score thing, and then trying to feign like this is the most complete report you could have ever written. That one line right there unravels everything you just talked about in this report. You sound like a Facebook comment section with this whole report. You had a bunch of idiots get together, write what they thought instead of the fact of what they discovered through research and how you feel, because this is all a feelings-based argument. And then you're going to try to use this to affect policy. I hope they pull your funding. See, the funny thing about research is there is no permission slips for this. You're using public funds to put out research. Therefore, it belongs to the public. You're using my tax dollars to line your pockets while you talk trash and lie. And a lot of us have a problem with that. We have this thing called free speech. Now, notice that nothing I said in this broadcast is hateful at all. At all. And we have free speech. If we see an issue and we're reading the data, the same research that you, quote unquote, were looking at, and we interpret it differently, it is what it is. It is what it is. We don't have to agree with you, but you can't label me as hate-filled, some type of demon because we don't agree. That is childish and that's one-sided. When you do research, you're supposed to be objective. You're supposed to present the argument from both sides, not just one way biased BS that y'all are doing. You can't do that. You can't. We're not going to allow it. See, the funny thing about it is a lot of y'all don't like bullies. You try to make us out to be the bully, when in reality, the people on the left, because we understand that y'all don't like right-leaning people or people who want conservative values. So we know that you're on the left. The left is the biggest bullies out there. If you don't agree with them, you'll dox them. You'll have them lose their jobs. You'll protest wherever they work. That's bullying. You're using the system that exists to try to force people to get the result you want. When the manosphere is the exact opposite. We present the information and let people make their own decisions, which is the way it should be. You put the research out there, let people read it, and they make their own assessments. That's the way this has always worked. Except when y'all get a hold of research and PhDs and people you can co-opt, you coerce them and then try to force everybody to live with the results, as if what you're doing is better than what's always worked. How does that work? There are certain traditions and certain things in this world that just have always worked, but y'all want to come in here. It's one thing, change is good to a certain point, but if it's not broken, don't fix it. Don't come over here with your ideas and blue hair and your pronouns and try to force everybody to go along to get along with what you want. Life doesn't work that way. Y'all act like petulant children. You do. And the funny thing about it is everybody who speaks like these guys do has a certain profile, has a certain look, has a certain attitude. And they've been trying this for decades. And it still hasn't worked because an overwhelmingly majority of people reject these ideas. So what do? Y'all get into positions of power. You try to affect it that way, and it's still not working. Look at our economy. The president who supports everything y'all are trying to do is driving this economy into the ground. It's like y'all trying to run us into communism. Ask them folks overseas about their freedom of speech. I'll wait. Ask those folks over there how many hours they work and everybody gets paid the same. You wouldn't accept that for 1 minute. So basically what I wanted to say in this video was that we got to watch what's going on. I left the majority of my thoughts in the comments on Machismo TV. But I just wanted to show people there's more than one report. And as you flip through these reports, let's say you read all three of them, because one of them is 40 pages, one is 70. Let's see. How many pages we got? 55 on this one. You got 73 on the other one. And then you have 41 on the next one. They're not very long. They're fairly easy to read as long as you're not taking notes. But I just wanted to show you that the progression of these folks and their and the, oh man, like, it is insane. It's like if a mental institution wrote a paper and then they wrote three. They wrote three. You cannot operate that way. And sorry for the noise in the background. Got the washer and dryer running. They wrote three. But the documents are in the description box below. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. You know what I'm saying? A like, you know, a small comment, say what's up. Will go a long way. And my apologies to the brothers. I didn't join y'all the other day. Like I said, I was spending time with my wife. We were watching a movie. I ran out of time because I had time before we started watching it, but it is what it is. Yeah, just let me know what you think in the comments below.